The warrior color. Very, very interesting topic for those that are students of the breed that love conditioning their dogs, keeping their pets extra healthy. There's a couple things we need to address here. There's so many people into the so-called APBT, American Pit Bull Terriers, real pit bulls, fake pit bulls, overfat pit bulls. Let me just address the first community, the one that loves great dogs and the one that keep them in shape. Some of those guys traditionally will use treadmills and all different kinds of methods that work for some of the people to certain levels on conditioning their dogs. For me, it became about superiority. We wanted to have the best dogs better than everybody. The dog that you see here is actually called Global Grand Champion Atos from Busha. A superhero, super dog. Him and his sisters and everybody was conditioned with this collar. Yes, you can use other equipments, but for me, that I wanted to use something that will give me an advantage over everybody, where I try to do it through genetics, I try to do it through conditioning, and through conditioning I discovered that I didn't have to follow what everybody else was doing. An hour on a treadmill, half an hour on a treadmill, on a carpet meal, on a jenny, all these different things I learned that I did not have to follow. I didn't have to do what other people were doing. I discovered that kind of walking my dogs, it was better, and it gave me the power to condition these beautiful dogs and give me extra power, extra everything, more than I would ever develop on any treadmills. You must understand that everyone runs into the idea on how enchanting is to see your dog on a treadmill. So I did purchase my treadmills when I started, when I became famous. Some of the treadmill makers wanted me to have one for free and give them a review or say something about their dogs, their treadmills, and so on and so forth. So I went and I tried the treadmills. Some were better than others. I gave them some key pointers to better their product and so on and so forth. At the end of the day, I realized the treadmill is absolutely something that I don't want to use. I realized that conditioning my dogs this way, I was able to create dogs like Global Grand Champion Copperhead, Global Grand Champion, she's a Dog of the Year, by the way, Global Grand Champion Chilindrina Dog of the Year, Global Grand Champion Ciega the Grey Dog of the Year, Global Champion King Amok, Global Champion the Bagman Ram, Global Champion Copper de Ram, and so on and so forth. All these beautiful dogs that we created of the Golden Vein bloodline. And these dogs are outstanding. Looking at them are absolutely sensational. They have superiority when you see them, their merits, everything, they are above everyone else. It's incredible to see a whole bunch of group of dogs that are genetically superior, but at the same time they have merits that are superior. And by definition, we acquire these by conditioning, by having extra condition, by lasting more, by being more healthy. Now, from here, I start talking to the other group, the group of the people who does not know anything about superiority or anything else, that they were hypnotized by, you need to have a choker. You need to choke your dog. And for those guys that are hypnotized on you need to choke your dog, then let me tell you this, they teach you the wrong thing. And maybe some dogs, you need to keep them walking next to you, which mine can do that at the same time. But there are so many things that nature gives to these hardworking dogs that when you feed them properly and when you walk them and they're pulling, they're actually exercising themselves. So when you have one of my collars and you walk this dog for 20 to 30 minutes a day, your dog will look so much better than it looks now. Somehow, some way in the 1990s, they started this jazz. The bigger the head, the bigger the bones, the heavier the dog, the better the dog. Absolutely wrong way to approach the dogs. And it's like all the people that were supposed to teach these men absolutely vanished. And they left these men inventing their own crap, inventing their own thing. And it's like having a whole bunch of kids inventing stuff. I got a dog, he's 200 pounds. I got a dog, he's 150 pounds. That is absurd. And so forget everything you know, because most of the times what you know is garbage. You learn it the wrong way. I have a post on my Facebook where we're talking about the benefits of raw meat for your dogs. And there's people crying like, oh my God, we're supposed to feed curve. It's absolutely, this hypnotized generation, they walk like a zombie, and they are so strong in their feelings about what they believe and they collectively think, and the whole social media really, really affect. He did some wonderful things of allowing you to connect with me, for instance, but he also allowed the zombies to have an opinion. And because most of the people are common, the opinions that have the biggest noise, that make the biggest splash, that have the most amount of people getting the likes and getting, the biggest numbers, are the opinions of the most common people. You'll discover, if you're smart, you'll understand the Pareto principle. Pareto was an Italian accountant, where he came up with this principle, the 80-20 principle, where 80% of the people in a given company are responsible for 90% of the production of the company, and the other 80 are just like bodies walking around. So people always great companies try to work on, rotating these 80% and trying to make it into the 20%. And with dogs, it's the same thing. With people and the dogs, it's the same thing. The biggest masters are going to be the dummies. So you have to make a decision and really re-educate yourself and learn and understand that these processes of this collar, for instance, is something that you did not know, and you probably need to learn to improve the health of your dog. So here it is. This is called the Warrior Collar. It was created by us. We are the manufacturers, and we don't force you to use it. But if you have the sense of some of the guys that got some of our colors, got 6, 7, 8 colors from us, they really, really enjoyed the color. They really, really enjoyed the dogs. It's absolutely sensational. I wish you were smart and study a little bit more about the American Pit Bull Terriers. And if you are a student of the American Pit Bull Terrier and you want to learn, I'm going to recommend you therealpitbull.com. You can also find it under the number 1, number 2, number 3, 1, 2, 3, pitbulls.com. My name is Chico Lopez. God bless you. I wanted to add a little bit to this conversation because it's amazing how a lot of people, the common sense is not that, too strong in them, and maybe I got to give more instructions. The collar has a part of it that is normal size collar and a part that is wide. The part that is wide, when it's over the neck of the dog, it doesn't do anything but protect the neck. When the dog is, like, for instance, on a chain, and the dog pulls on the chain, and that'll put pressure on top of the neck, it actually works. When the dog is resting, it protects the neck as well. But when the dog is actually pulling, then the wider part goes to the bottom automatically, because you clip the leash on the part that is slimmer. So automatically the slimmer part is on the top and the wider parts at the bottom, where it needs to be to protect the esophagus, the neck of the dog, allowing the dog to be able to put more pressure on the neck. And this is how dogs work. They put pressure. I don't like harnesses. I don't like what everybody else use, because I found it to be at fault compared to this color. So you're going to have people that are going to have one school and going to say this is better, that's better. At the end of the day, my recommendation is for you to compare what they have done versus what I have done, and whoever has the more merits, the better dogs, whoever, choose that person. I think you're smart. If you add the numbers, you're going to choose that I'm more successful with my Warrior collar than those of the guys have been successful with the treadmills. If you want to buy a treadmill and want to use it at home, you can use it. I recommend you not to use it for too long, because there's nothing more easier way to destroy and blow up your dog than running it hard on a treadmill. My name is Chico Lopez again, and I have learned a lot on these dogs because I have lived in 34 years what a normal man will live in 200 years. God bless you.